All right, we're going. Welcome everyone to Infuse. It is our first Infuse for the month of April, and it is fantastic to see your faces. So I'm Skyla Mann, and I'm here with my partners in crime, Rhonda Favano and Britta Dimmler, and Danielle Keene could not be with us tonight, but we send our love and healing wishes to her and welcome any and all of her team members that are with us. So tonight is a night that we're going to dive into the topic of resources. One of the most powerful lines that you can get into your head is, I don't know, but I will look it up. And if you can embody that line and be okay with not being the encyclopedia of all the things, I promise you the stress levels in your body will go down and your ability to duplicate will go up. So picture it from a new member's perspective. If you enroll someone this week and they come to you and they ask you a question and it's about, you know, how many grams of blah, blah, blah are in Balance Complete, and you just rattle that off, well, it's 17, and they're like, wow, how does she know all of that? Well, what that tells that member subconsciously is that they need to know everything right off the bat. And while I know every single one of you probably have a ton of knowledge in your head, don't be so quick to act too smart. I know that's hard, but it's true. Some of us come by it naturally. It's just easy for me to say, I don't know, let's look it up. I'm not even faking it. But for other smarties that have gone to school and have degrees and stuff, like my friend Rhonda, she's super smart. And Britta and I are always like, Rhonda, what do we do? And she just knows, okay? But in order for you to duplicate, there are some tools like books that look like this, that if we can teach our new members, just get these particular resources into your hands, it's going to make everybody's Young Living experience better. Okay. So here's the question that we're going to kick off with tonight. And I'm going to open it up to each of you because you've each got different areas of expertise. What I would love to know is, in your Young Living journey so far, and I want you to tell us your name and how long you've been a member, what resource, let's just maybe try to keep it at one or two, have you found has been the most helpful for you to have? Okay, so think of yourself as a member first. We'll kind of flip over to the business builder side second, but let's just think about as a product user so that you know, like, how do I use these things? That's what I want to know. So I would dearly love to hear from every single one of you. And you can use the comment box. Better yet, unmute yourself and let us hear your beautiful voice. I like Heather just comes to the table with a bottle. Yeah, go girl. She's mine. Okay. Packets, those are for rookies, right? Just straight from the bottle. Okay, so who's going to kick us off here?
I will. Can you hear me?
Thank you, Laura. Yes, you sound great.
Well, it should be Mary, unless I'm talking to Laura.
Even better. Hi, Mary.
Okay, can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
My camera's not working, and I haven't been able to figure out why not. But I love just the big resource book. And when I started out about 8 years ago, that's what that thing is ragged, which I've learned so much from it. But when I got the ability to put basically that on my phone, I will say that since I always have my phone with me, when I'm out talking to somebody and they ask me something, I can say, let's look it up.
Yes.
and I click in, and start looking up. So that is also very, very helpful, just because it's always with me and it's always accessible.
I love it. And I could not agree more. Raise your hand if you've got your camera on. How many of you own a reference book? Okay, cool. That's 100%. Good. So here's a question for you. When you enroll somebody new, how do you explain to your new member that book is like a non-negotiable? Do you gift them one, or do you send them the link, or what do you do?
I've just let them know that it's something that's been extremely helpful and that I highly, highly recommend it. Amazon, I think, has it. There's been a couple of times, though, that they say that they're out of order. So other than there, I'm not really sure where to direct them to find it besides Amazon. And I don't have it on my phone, so I'd love to know how you get that.
Great. Okay, so I have the reference guide for essential oils. It kind of has these little circle buttons. And this one comes from Life Science. No, Abundant Health. Sorry, it matches. Yeah. So this is what the cover of the Abundant Health reference guide looks like. And that app goes with that book.
That's what I use. And I think it's only like $7. Maybe it's increased by now, but it's a really good deal. But I gift the tiny little pocket reference to all my new members. I want to say I got like a bulk order. Is it Life Science, I think? And I want to say the bulk order breaks down to only like $2 or $1.80 per one. So it's pretty cost effective if you can get a bulk order.
Excellent. And when you can get them started on that, and then just sort of help them know that this is a good place to start. This one has even more information. And then we have, the big kahuna that you're going to want to have on your coffee table because it's a wonderful conversation starter.
Yeah, I've shared with some people that like when they sign up, I send this, and that I think like that on its own like intrigues people because they like knowing like, oh, I'll have like a place to look rather than just being like, I won't remember what everything is for.
Right.
So
Right
I think they assured knowing that they'll have that with their like first order.
Good, Heather, thank you.
And also while I'm talking, Leslie Burris said something one time that really resonated with me as far as like resources. She said, you're just not just, but like, you're like the front desk of like Young Living. So you don't have to feel like you know everything, but just where to direct people or like for you to know where to go to get the resources or find stuff. So never feeling like you have to know everything, but like, you're just like the front desk. Like, how can I direct your question?
I love that. That is so true.
And then I might be a little like premature to speak on this, but I have really liked, I am like a checklist person. Like I struggle with like, okay, I have my time and then like, oh, like what should I do today? What is on my to-do list today? And Lauren Caddy has a 90-day hustle planner, which I really hesitate using the word hustle, just with like what kind of I don't know, attitude that can give you, or like kind of feeling like you have to hurry to something, as opposed to like, we're in this for the long haul. Like this is something that, I'm not going to do just for 90 days. But
I'm
anywho,
good. Lena, Bella, come on.
she has this planner. I just started it, so that's why I said I'm a little premature, but I like that it actually gives you like to-do lists for every single day and kind of really spells it out. And that's just kind of how my brain works. So I really like that. And it kind of like, I am not great about always like writing down my goals because then it feels like real if you actually write them down, but I know it's really good. So at the beginning, it has like what my current rank is, what my rank will be in 90 days, my OGB, what it will be in 90 days, all that kind of stuff. And then like each week, it's like, how many people are you going to send Happy Mail to? How many people are you going to sign up that week? So like breaking it down as opposed to like 90 days is a ton of time, but like going week by week, how many people are going to get on ER, and just, yeah, like today post a reel. Just, it's very, very detailed on like stuff to do. And so
I love that, Heather. Hey, will you do us a favor? Because I'm not sure how you spell Lauren's name. Will you just type that? Because I'm sure people are going to be curious.
Sure.
I am one who went through multiple different leaders, planners when I was growing. And I agree wholeheartedly with Heather that sometimes just having those suggestions for daily activities in front of me was enough to say, oh yeah, I need to tend to my business in a specific way, not just dream about it, not just read the personal development book, but like there's tasks that have got to get done. So that would be awesome. If you want to put that in the chat section, that would be great. Wonderful. I want to hear from some of the rest of you. What resources have been really beneficial to kind of move the needle on your education or your business?
I'll go. I actually enjoy using the Grow Workspace, their website. I love how simplified they've made things as far as, you know, putting your Facebook classes on or just in-person classes. So I really like using that. And I learn a lot out of the Grow Facebook group, and I learn a lot out of your group, Skyla, and just, you know, using, you know, shooting things off of Crossline members is a good thing for me too. So those are a few.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lisa.
And actually, Lisa, and I know Brittany mentioned this earlier too about Crossline members. I would love for you guys to expand more on that. What is it? What does that mean to shoot ideas off? And how did you find those Crossline members? This is, you know, it's so important to have them. And that's part of our community. And a lot of people think, oh, I don't know how to do it, or I can't, I have to, you know, we put ourselves in our boxes. So talk about how you expanded that.
Well, one that I've become particularly close with, Skyla actually connected us, and we just talk, you know, about how we do different classes or how we'll approach different things. And I actually was working on an idea last week, and I messaged her and she shot me back some suggestions. And you know, she was working on setting up classes and asked me some questions, you know, how would I, or what would I do, or, you know, things like that. So it's more of a great support system than anything. Plus they can point out things that you may not think of. Another Crossline member that, you know, we've connected really well together. She is actually like side by side in our downline with me, and we just hit it off really well, and are able to connect and discuss different ideas, and we've done a lot of classes together that way. So I don't know if that answered your question, Britta.
I think it does, Lisa.
Okay.
And it, you know, like for me, when I have gone to convention or gone to other Young Living events, you know, when you meet those people and you're like, oh my gosh, I click with her. Like we get each other on a whole different level. And it is so much fun to be able to, like you said, just toss ideas out, and iron sharpens iron, you guys. We know this. So if you have an idea, it's probably a good idea, but when you spin that together with a friend, you know it's going to get better. Like that energy is just unbelievable. So Thank you, thank you. How many of you, just out of curiosity, how many of you have friended somebody that you met during Infuse? Have you guys made any connections here? Okay, Brittany has. Awesome. Because I would just say, don't hesitate to do that. You know how the chat box works, right? If you click on it, you can drop down and you can private message. We can play matchmaker right here if we need to. Okay.
Oh, and
let's
another important thing is to make sure and go to the activities. You know, I live in Grand Island, Nebraska, so it's harder for me to get to some of those Iowa things. But those of you that live in Iowa, get to those activities because that's where you get a lot of those friendships too.
Right on. And Alice, I cannot even wait to come to Grand Island next month. We're gonna have
Wait
so
to have
much
you
fun.
here.
So
Yeah.
much fun.
Well, and I think we should just go ahead and release that right now since you guys brought it up. We're going to be in Ashland, Nebraska, which is right between Omaha and Lincoln on May 2nd. Young Living Corporate's coming to town. And then we're going to Grand Island on May 3rd. So you guys, if you have people, and this is open to anyone, Team YL, right? So if you have people that you know anywhere in Nebraska, like tell them about these opportunities, okay? Because it's open to them and we will help take care of them for you and get them signed up under you. If they come with you need to send your member number, right? Or make sure that you click the little checkbox on the virtual office that people can find you by searching for your name, because we want to make sure they get connected to the right person. But I'm super excited because it's always fun to have new people come, and we're actually corporate's going to do some huddling with us and networking and brainstorming and sharing some of our back to the roots kind of stuff. And, some of those products that have been around for a really long time that a lot of us don't use or don't use much. That's what we're talking about. And it's going to be super, super fun. So Darlene will be in Grand Island, I know. And hopefully we'll see many others of you there as well, because it's going to be a great opportunity.
All right, there's my tip. Get out your Christmas card list. For real, whoever you know that lives in Nebraska, they jolly well better get an invitation to show up.
Or even Western Iowa and Northern Missouri, Northern Kansas, all those people. It's not that far for them, you guys.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. That was exciting. Now let's go back to resources.
Yep. But that's a resource.
But
Classes are a resource.
Events are huge resources for sure.
I like the sway documents.
Awesome.
Those have been really helpful because they're easy, and it's like usually one subject. So it's easy to give to people, and it's if you need the information too. So I like those a lot.
Beautiful.
Tell us where you're getting those, April.
We get them from Rhonda, so I don't know where she
She is the queen of sway
she gives us
documents.
everything. So I don't know what we would do without her whole group. All of our group stuff is amazing. So
I love it. How many of you know what sway documents are? Have you used them, seen them?
They are amazing. Rhonda is amazing.
Rhonda, a big hand, shall we?
Well, and what's amazing about Rhonda is that she shared with us. So I know Skyla and I both have posts in our group as well for
Right
sway
on.
documents. And if you're in Danielle's group and you don't, then you need to just let us know and we will link you to those. Okay. So send us a private message or just chat there and Heather doesn't know what they are. So who wants to explain what a sway document is? This is a great thing. I'm glad that you said that, Heather.
April, do you want to just kind of describe what they are?
So it's kind of like almost like a newsletter, but it's specifically, so there'll be one, like I'm trying to see if I can find one so I can kind of explain it. But like we have one on like Ninja Red. So that's one I actually pulled up today to give to someone. And let me just see, hold on. The wrong thing. I don't know really how to explain it. It just gives the information about that thing, or we'll have one like on her hormones, and it'll talk about different oils you can use for that hormone, or if there's supplements you can take for that. It's all in that document. So like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but we have one, it's called like Ditch and Switch with Young Living. And so it just, oh no, you can't, it's too bright, but it'll just kind of like go through that subject and tell you what to use for that, what's good for it. Basically, that's what they are. I don't know how else to explain.
It's like a PowerPoint.
It's
kind of.
I'm going to say that's right, Brittany. It's like a cross between a newsletter and a PowerPoint. So it's got graphics. I mean, you can make it with or without graphics, but typically graphics and a little bit of information. So it's easy to be able to text the link to someone or email it or whatever project. You can put in a project broadcast, and it's kind of like a landing page. And
I don't think
literally
anybody in our upline uses it.
they just
Not mine.
scroll through it. I think they are one of the most phenomenal things in the whole wide world. And Grow Workspace has some. They have, they have a collection of them. And then if there's a topic I want, I just go make my own. So, but they're phenomenal. It's just such an easy way to share information with people and go and refer back to it over and over again. As long as you have the link, you can look at it whenever you want.
Right on. I dropped an example of one that I had in my group. I didn't even hardly look to see what it was, but I think it might have been about building the business. So you can take a look at that. You can copy and paste it and look at it later if you want to.
So they're like not expiring. Like you create essentially a link. Like you just created a little mini website link, and then it's always there, and then you can just share it.
Exactly.
Actually, just Heather, just go to sway.com and you can set up a free account and you can create them. And if you already are a member of Grow Workspace, they have a lot of them. So they started really doing them. I started using them years and years ago, but they've got where they have a whole bunch of them. So I don't know whose group you're in, but I bet somebody in your group has a bunch that you can just use.
Yeah. They're wonderful. Thank you, April, for sharing that. Oh, April might have jumped off. Okay. What other resources? There you are.
You're welcome.
She's everywhere. What other things have made your Young Living life a lot easier? These are really good suggestions so far.
And you guys, the other thing I really want you to think about is, because Skylar and I were just talking about this yesterday, that when we got started, there weren't a lot of free resources. And so we bought a lot of things. And I think because we bought a lot of things, other people bought a lot of things. And then people, life happens and you might end up sitting on a lot of supplies, right? Books and roller bottles and different things. And so one of the things that my hope for this tonight is that you walk away going, okay, I don't have to buy a lot of things. I just need to have links to things. I need to be able to have a resource and even like open up a notes thing on your page when we're done. And you can copy and paste, like if any of the actual links that we put in the notes or in the chat box, it will open another browser. So you don't have to even look at it right now. You can just click on that link. It'll open a browser, come back to it after the end of the class, right? And then put those in your note in your phone. So then you have those in a note that you can easily send to people and say, okay, here you go. This is, you asked me about information on Ningxia, here you go. And then it's not, you don't have to buy all the flyers, because I still have a bucket of flyers that it's like, I can't throw these away. Skylar, tomorrow we have to help me throw these away, right? Because sometimes it's just like, we need to purge stuff. And so the great thing about today's world is that we don't have to buy all the things, because we can put it on our phone. We can send people a link. They can look at it when they're ready and, move on from there. So share your other resources. And I will say though, the caveat to that, I still have every single desk reference that I've ever bought because I keep them because there's always different information in each one. And sometimes I have to go back to the beginning ones to get the information I'm looking for, right? And I still like books. And so I still have books, but I also have I have 3 desk references, I think, on my phone. So, because sometimes I can't find it in the book, or I am not home and I can't find it in one desk reference, so I'll find it in the other. So it's not to say that, we can't use both, but we don't have to spend all of our money. We can do this very frugally today. All right, so who else has resources? Somebody mentioned Grow Facebook, the Grow Facebook page, GROW, right? Dot. Who uses that? And tell us what you're using it for and why you check it. How often do you check it? What kind of resources or information do you find over there?
I was the one that mentioned that, and I find a lot of great graphics over there. And people put up carousel stories that they're allowing us to share. So I will snag a bunch of those and try to run them through my stories on Instagram and Facebook. That I think they got a lot of great stuff over there. In there, wherever it is.
Rhonda started Mighty Networks, and so we access that a lot, and it has the Sway documents and people post in it, and so there's a lot of resources there, people's stories and links and things like that also.
Mm-hmm.
I know that when every holiday comes around, if I am looking for specific graphics or recipe ideas, I can always count on Grow to go there and just type in, fall room sprays or fall whatever. That search box is your best friend. and you can almost put anything in. There is so much content. Jill Sager has done a remarkable job cultivating a generous giving community. And so I think people feel blessed. And so they give more, which means all you have to do is think of the word that you're looking for, and you will surely find it in Grow.
Another fun thing is a lot of people will get on there and give fun class ideas and what they're doing for in-person classes and stuff. And I like to look up on that stuff. It's a lot of fun. And then I was gonna say one of those places that I use a lot just for recipes, really good diffuse recipes or DIYs with your oils and stuff is Pinterest. I love that one. They have tons of Young Living stuff on there.
Excellent. And I'll throw in one tip. I don't know that I don't have them within reach at the moment, but something that I don't know who taught me this a long time ago, but you can get on Etsy and you can buy for a very nominal fee, $3, $5, you can buy PDFs. And so sometimes I just want to send out postcards just to keep my name in the forefront of my members' minds, or, if I've got new members that I want to welcome, I can create a postcard. I'm capable of that, but it is not a wise use of my time. And so if I can go on there and buy a $3 PDF and support some other mama who's trying to stay at home, and then I can get them printed at Office Depot for little to nothing, you guys, that is the best time saver ever. And then you can print however many you want. So it's not like I have to buy 500. Maybe I only want to print 25. And so I usually get this, whatever season we're in, I usually go in and write winter diffuser recipes or spring, essential oils, and all the artists that create things will have, recommended supplements, oil blends, roller bottles, whatever, and diffuser recipes, and they make it very beautiful. And it just makes life easier. So don't forget about Etsy.
another thing on, somebody said, okay. That's what my names are. Another thing on Grow Workspace, Mighty Network was Jill On Call did a unstoppable something. I know. And she had something called the Power Hour, and it was super helpful too, because again, I'm somebody that just needs like structure, and it was, I'm trying to remember, so it's just 1 hour. The first 2 minutes was like welcoming people, and then it's like 14 minutes dedicated to contacting your prospects, just like messaging your prospects, because you always have your list, but then never knowing like when to contact them or set aside time, and like should have a timer. So it's 14 minutes of your prospects, then the next 14 minutes was to your customers, so people who are already in your downline, you know, checking in on them. Do they need a new recipe or whatever? And then the next 14 minutes was business builders, and then there was another 14 minutes. I can't remember. If anybody's been in it, you can chime in. But anyways, that was really helpful, because at the end of it, I was always like, no, but I want to keep going in that one, but like moving along and like setting aside 14 minutes of each thing, and like at the end of the hour, you're like, wow, I just contacted like so many people in different like categories.
Brilliant, Heather. That's awesome. Yeah.
I'll share a couple of things that I really like that are easy to use. You guys have a catalog, the Young Living catalog. I think they're $3. And if you order any of those starter bundles, which I've been known to do often for my own use, then they'll send you one free. So you can literally teach multiple classes from this book right here, this catalog right here. It's great to show if someone's just asking, you know, if someone's new and they're just asking you some questions, it's great to have one handy and flip through and let them see, you know, some of the farm stuff, seed to seal stuff. They're interested in a particular product line. It's just great because they can flip through it and they'll see we have so many things. So that's great. That is very, very inexpensive, easy to use. This book, my team all knows, I wish it was named something different, because a lot of people won't buy it because of the name, and it says Menopause Essentials. This is written by a gynecologist, you guys. Okay, a doctor, a gynecologist. But it's not just about menopause. That's why I wish the name was something different. And I even told her, I'm like, I really wish you would have named this something different, but it's available from Growing Healthy Homes, and it's a reference guide. Now, there's a lot of hormonal information, which we can all use, right? But there's all kinds of other stuff. Like I just opened the book. There's a page on tremors. Okay. There is so much information in this book that everybody could use. So I can't say enough good things about this particular book. Gentle Babies. I don't care if you have babies in your house or not. This is a great book, and it's applicable to all of us. And how about our animals? We can use a lot of the oils in here, the way they use them for babies, for our animals. So it's a little bit an animal reference guide, and it's hard to get your hands on one right now. But if you don't have one, it doesn't talk about kitty cats. Okay, you're not going to say it does, but you can follow a lot of the same stuff here for your little animals, so your pets. So anyway, just want to share those are some of my favorites that I think should be in every library.
Those are brilliant.
Those are really, really good. My mother-in-law is really interested in helping her animals. So she's got 2 dogs and they're her whole world. And one of them has diabetes and she has diabetes. And so for her birthday, my husband and I actually bought her 2 different animal desk references. And she is just obsessed. She's like, it is the best thing ever. So really good point, Rhonda.
I was going to say, speaking of Jen O'Sullivan, I just discovered not that long ago, she has a Facebook page about like the science of essential oils. And that Facebook page is helpful just to like the people who have more like sciencey questions and stuff like that. So
Excellent. Awesome. Britta, did you want to share about Sarah Harnish's stuff?
Yeah, actually, I have a couple of script books or script options and resources for you. And so again, we're going to, first of all, I want to say, if you're looking for scripts, you need to check in our Facebook groups or and run this Mighty Networks group or ask around, because there are a lot of scripts that we've written or that we've used and that we are happy to share. Grow Workspace. They mentioned that before, but that's a great place for scripts. I shared simplifiedoiler.com is another great place for scripts. And right now, it's Simplified Oiler is through Janelle Vonegas, and she's a diamond with Young Living. And it's a flat, I think $79 flat fee for lifetime membership. It is probably the best $79 I've spent. For resources, because she always comes up with brand new pictures and brand new, graphics, but she has class scripts, I think like 50 different class. Actually, it's not a script, it's an outline. So she wants you to make it yours, but she has lots of great ideas in there. And sometimes I've just copied into her, what she's put, and then created my own wording of it too. So that's a great resource. I love this book. It's called the Now What Script Book. This Life Science Publishing was producing it. It's by Susan Richardson, Bobby Decker, and Brooke Sexton from Root Empowerment LLC. So I'm not sure where we can get it right now. I still have 2 copies of it, actually, if anybody really wants one. But I love this book because this actually walks through all the systems in the body. And so, if you want to do something on your digestive system, there's a script in here for that. And I want to show you guys something because I just saw. Read through this. Don't just assume it's going to be okay. Can you see that? I've written in my book something, it took me a long time to be able to write in books, but I write in books now, and I cross things off and I reword things and I add things to it because, sometimes I don't like the way that they word it, or I don't like that, how it sounds or how it sounds coming out of my mouth. It's not normal. So I will cross things out. Or I just, I've crossed off whole sections in some of these scripts because I just don't want to read them. I'm actually going to be writing a script next week for adrenal glands because that was a need. And so I'm going to use this book for part of it because it's about the endocrine system, right? So I'm going to use this and pull resources from this as well as from other scripts. So I think it's the book, and you get 5 of the Now What books that you can give to people. It's $20. It's a great way to do a class. And the cool thing about the Now What book that you get is that you can let the people that you're talking to pick what do you want to work on, and they can identify their system, and then it sets up a 3-month plan for them. So right there is the next 3 months in their subscription orders. And then in the back, it's all about there's recipes and DIY stuff and all that stuff. And then the other book I wanted to mention or talk about is Sarah Harnish's script book. Okay. And this is her 101 script. It has, and I think hers, let's see, what's her website? Oil Ability. Is it oilability.com? I think. Or it's Game Plan Oil Script Book. That's here's the front page of it. Okay. So Game Plan Oil Script Book. I know you can get this on Amazon or from her website. If you go to her website, once you order it, she actually has PowerPoints for the first 3 for oils, thieves, and Ningxia and CBD. So for the first 4 classes, she actually has PowerPoints, but there's so many great scripts. And again, in here, you guys, I've crossed off a lot of stuff because I'm like, I don't want to share that. That's too much information. I want to keep it simple, or, oh, I think I need to add this. So make these your own. But this talks about oils, thieves, Ningxia, CBD, kids class, fearless, Bible, raindrop, feelings, gut health, supplements, enzymes. You ever want to know why we have so many enzymes? She'll tell you. Savvy, hair, tooth, hormones, animal massage, diffusers, seedlings, manly man, neuroauricular, blending, einkorn, some stuff about Gary, protocols and bonuses and cheat sheets. So there's a ton in here. I don't know. I think it was like $50. You guys, if you did one class a week, this would get you 4 months of classes. And then guess what? You can just repeat them because people won't remember, or you'll have new information yourself that you're like, oh, I need to add this now. I'm going to make this into my own. So that's a great, I think it's a great resource. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you, and I have been really bad about telling my team about this, and maybe you haven't heard either, but Richard Blissbrook, who wrote, what do you write? The 4-Year Career and Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire. He has teamed together, he's a Young Living Diamond, and he has teamed together with 5 other Young Living Diamonds or above, and sometimes it's different. And every Thursday night at 7:30 Central, they do a 30-minute Zoom call that shares the Young Living opportunity with people. So you might be like me, that like it's still a little bit uncomfortable to talk about the opportunity, or I get in my own head, right? I have my own stories about this and my own hangups. I'm gonna actually, I'll copy and paste this. You guys are into the comments. There'll be several different comments in the chat box. But you can sign up for this and to get your own, so you can get email reminders. Actually, I'll just do this, because if you just get the email reminder, you guys, if you sign up for it, they literally give you a script in the email that you can invite people to the calls. Okay. So as I was finding it tonight, I was just kind of like, whoa, this is pretty amazing. So sign up for this email. And it says here, if they're interested in just attending the webinar to see what it's about, you can send them the one link, which is zoom.learnaboutyl.com. And if they're interested in receiving reminders, updates, they can opt in to PIOPinsider.com. And I will post these in the chat so that you can see kind of what they're doing. But I get this every week in my inbox. Okay, so I don't always share it, but it's there, and the resource is so good there to do that. You can actually go to the learnaboutyl.com, and you can, I believe, I think they have recorded one of these already. So I think if you sign in or log into that, then you will get the recording. But it's a great way to share with people the business part. It's coming from people who are already professional or already successful. So those that are just starting, and you're like, oh, I don't know, because we're in our heads, right? I don't have the success behind me. These people do. You just need to be there to answer questions. And remember, I don't know is an answer. I don't know, but I'll find out and I'll come back to you. And I still say that as a diamond. I said it a whole lot as a star and a senior star and an executive, but I bet I say it almost as often as a diamond, because I don't have to know all the answers. Okay. I've never read all the books. Even this book, how thin it is, I've never read them all because I still haven't done all the classes in here. So, you don't have to read everything to be successful. You just have to open your mouth and share. So that's what I got, Skyla.
Thank you. That's good stuff.
A couple of the books, Darlene and I were doing a little bit of chatting. A couple of the books that we love to talk about with people is the Feelings books. The one, Feelings, Buried Alive, Never Die by Carol Truman. And then the other one, Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils. And this is by Carolyn Mean, she's a doctor. And then one that I send all of our new members in our downline is Flourish. And it's a very inexpensive From Growing Healthy Homes. And it not only goes through and explains about certain things about the oil, but it goes through different products also. So if you've got somebody that orders a starter kit, then they can get information and can hear about the other things that Young Living has. And so it just opens it up to them possibly getting on Subscribe to Save.
Perfect. That is so helpful. Those intro books like Flourish can sometimes be so beneficial because they do a lot of talking for us And I'm guilty sometimes of wanting to say a lot, but people need to digest it in their own time. And so being able to put something like Flourish in their hands so that they can read it at their own speed and digest it, I think that is very helpful. So good ideas. One of the things that has been really helpful for me this spring has been Leslie Burris's Brand Partner Academy. I see a few heads nodding. How many of you are taking advantage of that resource? Okay. I would love to hear from some of you. I certainly don't make all of the calls, but I've made enough of them and I have gone through enough of her training now that I hear Leslie's voice in my ear. And I think that is the most important thing, that when you question yourself or you're getting down on yourself, it's like, hey, that's not a problem. One of Leslie's most frequently used phrases, it's not a problem. We can do this. Some of you have heard me talk about one of my favorite books. The title of it is Everything is Figure Outable. And it doesn't really matter if you read the book or not. It's a great book, but all you need to do is remember the title. Everything is figure outable in every situation. And I cannot tell you how many times I've used that in parenting, in marriage, in family matters, and in business. It's just how we look at it, right? So, but Leslie has done a remarkable job of simplifying the business building experience. I think I started out very simple, and then somehow it morphed in my own head over the years to the point where it's like, I don't even know what the steps are anymore. I have complicated this in my own brain, which is ridiculous. But she brought it back to, it's okay. Just this and this and this. And so now when I have someone come to me, a member that has taken an interest in the business side of Young Living, and they say, Skyla, where do I begin? The very first thing I do is I send them the link to the Brand Partner Academy. And like Britta just wrote, it's $20, you guys. Okay. And I have spent $20 100 times over on sillier things. I can promise you that. This, if you take it to heart, I mean, don't just spend it and then be like, oh, I'm never going to use it, but get in there and listen to how she coaches and listen to how she presents this information, because she truly has distilled it in a way that only a mom of 6 kids can do. It's like, all right, listen, I got 10 minutes. You got to teach me what are generations in the comp plan. And she literally does. And I'm like, holy cow, nice work. So take advantage of the people that are making this easy, and then duplicate that and let the complicated stuff that you think you got to figure out, just let go of that. It's okay. And if you release yourself that you have to be the one that understands it all to teach it, I mean, we want you to have a grasp, but if you can send a link, you can be successful. That's the end of the day. So
I have another thing, kind of on Leslie Burris's thing, but a little side off of that. But Kristen Boss has podcasts, and they're free, and I just listen to them in the car, and most of them are like 20-30 minutes long, so they're not like too long. So she is super into social selling, and I feel like a lot of the ones that she does, I feel like she's like directly talking to me, and I can resonate with them a lot. So totally recommend her podcasts. They're super, super good.
thank you. I couldn't agree with you more. And it is fun. The more that you are listening to those calls, that when she's coaching, Do you ever jump ahead and you're like, I know what she's gonna say? And when you get to that point, you're like, okay, I have absorbed enough that now I can self-coach, which is very important. So, all right, so the big question as we wrap this hour up, do you feel like you have the necessary tools in your hands to be successful at growing a Young Living business? I see some heads nodding. Okay. Is there anything that you feel like you don't have in your toolbox that is holding you back? I see no heads nodding. Okay, so then the only thing that could be holding us back, if we have all the tools, is perhaps this general space between our ears, right? So we have all the things, we just need to remind ourselves that we are capable and that you are extremely worthy of success in every form, right? Whatever you want is yours literally for the asking. And I think April is a great month to just go make it happen. Okay, everybody's in the mood for growth. Look out your window. I heard Britta say it right at the beginning when I hopped on. We're seeing signs everywhere. Buds on trees, crocuses coming up, tulips coming up. I was at my folks' on Saturday and the pussy willows are exploding. It's just time for growth. So don't hold it back. Don't squelch it. Just let it happen. Yeah, and crazy robins that are trying to mate with themselves in a window. I'm pretty sure that's what was going on, Britta. You were part of Wild Kingdom there. Oh, my word. So yeah, all the signs, we believe in you. And my mantra is always that we will believe in you until you believe in yourself, if that is the case. Okay. So any other closing words from anybody? Okay, well, then without further ado, let's go forth and make it happen. Thank you guys for being here. And I know we'll probably see some of you on some other calls this week, but oh, you know what? Did anybody chime in with enrollments? That was the one thing I didn't look over. Now there's so many posts.
Yeah, we asked, nobody responded, but did you guys miss that one? Did anybody enroll anybody this month so far in the last, what is today, the 4th?
We know it's the 4th.
Darlene Higgins, I believe you have.
Darlene. Woo, 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 woo.
Anybody else this month so far?
Okay.
All right, Darlene, you're our big winner tonight. Then. Congratulations.
Woo! All right. The month is early, you guys. Let's all go invite some folks, invite them to events, create events, whatever.
That was my friend I went when I took my trip to Arizona.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
So
Way
now
to go.
more I'm working on.
That's exciting.
Being a friend first.
Right on. Hey, can I tell you guys a super quick story to inspire you? I told Britta about this earlier, but I have developed a wonderful relationship with our mail carrier, and she's just a remarkable young lady. And we often get in trouble because she'll stop to visit, and after 20 minutes, I'm like, girl, you got to keep going because you got a route to do here. But she has expressed an interest in developing multiple streams of income. And she's told me as much. And so I have gifted her some Young Living stuff just because that's my love language. And so she knows we do Young Living. And so I have had some great conversations with her just about the business. Well, a few months ago, my mother-in-law passed away, and she was one of our builders. And so our family is doing a little restructuring. If you've ever had that happen in your business, when someone passes away, you can transfer that business to someone else. So Brian is going to take her leg. Our daughter is going to take Brian's leg. And that leaves our daughter's business that needs a buyer. And so I just was able to very candidly say, hey, I have this very unique opportunity. I have a small leg that is already started, and I know you're interested in a business. Would you be interested in taking this position? And you guys, she is so interested. She is not even a member yet. And I'm like, I would have never approached somebody cold and just been like, hey, do you want to buy this leg? You know, that seems so weird. But because we had developed that relationship and I knew what she was looking for, it made total sense for her. And so we have a date to get together this week. We had to reschedule. It was supposed to be this afternoon, but something came up for her. So we're getting together on Friday to talk. So I'm hoping that by next Monday, I have a story like Darlene, and we'll have a happy new member. But it's those relationships first, so that you know exactly what somebody's need is. And then it, you know, I didn't feel like I was salesy. I felt like I was answering a prayer for her, like, oh, hey, this is an opportunity. So anyway, I just wanted to share that, give you a little bit of hope and inspiration. So, all right, friends, I think it is 8 o'clock. At least it is in Iowa. So have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for being here, you
so
guys.
much.
Bye.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.